I've no idea what Donald Trump's travel plans are. You'll be glad to know. I hope and expect that, as everybody hopes and as everybody expects, not everybody necessarily will hope that the travel plan immediately that he has is to exit the White House. But beyond that, I don't know. But it's not, we are not allowing people to come into Scotland for without an essential purpose right now, and that would apply to him just as it applies to anybody else. And coming to play golf is not what I would consider to be an essential purpose.
This statement by Scotland's First Minister Nicola Sturgeon comes in the aftermath of an article in the Scottish newspaper called the Sunday Post, which quoted a source at Prestwick Airport, which is the closest airport to Trump's Turnberry resort in Scotland, saying that a US presidential plane is scheduled to land there on January 19th, which is the day before Joe Biden's inauguration. The report states too that surveillance planes have been spotted at the golf course, suggesting that an important guest is expected to arrive soon. Now, it's telling that Sturgeon's initial reaction to the notion of Trump traveling anywhere is that the first place he should be traveling to is out of the White House. This comes after months of insisting that he won an election that he decidedly did not win. And while Trump's temper tantrum is a laughingstock here, he's apparently just as much of a joke around the world, to the point where even other world leaders are calling on him to grow up and concede the election that he lost. But beyond that, what's most striking is the dichotomy between how seriously other countries' leaders are taking this virus and how seriously Donald Trump is. Compare Sturgeon's approach in announcing a zero-tolerance policy with regard to non-essential travel with Donald Trump's approach of holding an endless barrage of campaign rallies for himself. The guy had such a lax attitude about the virus that he and his entire circle contracted it, including his wife, his sons, Kellyanne Conway, Kayleigh McEnany, Chris Christie, Nick Luna, Bill Stepien, Stephen Miller, Ronna McDaniel Romney, Hope Hicks, and more. And so of course Scotland doesn't want Trump, considering you'd probably be safer licking a handrail at Rockefeller Center than coming within 10 feet of the guy. Now, the speculation that Trump's going to Scotland is just rumors at this point. A spokesperson for the Prestwick Airport said, quote, "We can confirm that we are not expecting a visit from Donald Trump in January. I should note, however, that Turnberry's had the entire month of January booked out since November, with no explanation as to why that is." Still, that hasn't stopped Scottish officials from weighing in anyway, and they pulled no punches when it came to how they felt about a possible visit from the world's biggest sore loser. Patrick Harvey, the co-leader of the Scottish Green Party, said, quote, "It's a relief that Donald Trump has been sent packing by the US electorate, but the last place we want him running for cover is Scotland. While many people would enjoy seeing Police Scotland arrest him for breaching the law on non-essential travel, it would be better for everyone if he was arrested in the US for the far more serious crimes he's committed there." Another official, Ross Greer, said, quote, "The only circumstance in which I'd want to see Trump in Scotland is if he's here to hand over an unvarnished set of accounts and financial disclosures for his Scottish businesses, given the pretty credible evidence submitted to the US Congress linking their purchase to potential money laundering. Otherwise, he can stay stateside to sulk about his crushing defeat." Colin Smith, another official who represents an area not far from Turnberry, said that Trump traveling to Scotland during a coronavirus surge would be the, quote, "height of irresponsibility," adding, quote, "Our police and others frankly have enough to do without the added burden of coping with Donald Trump's election sulk. We need a categoric guarantee from both the UK and Scottish governments that if there is even the slightest shred of truth in these rumors, that they will nip this in the bud now." And finally, because it's just too good not to add one more, Alex Cole Hamilton said, quote, "Scotland welcomes in corners of all backgrounds and beliefs, but that stops short of providing safe harbor for criminals. We've got enough on our plate right now than having to deal with the arrival of a delinquent former president." Just in case there were any questions about Donald Trump's popularity there. Turns out trying to destroy democracy doesn't get you too many brownie points these days. And bear in mind too, this isn't the first time that Trump has embarrassed himself or the United States on the world stage. Remember this moment from the NATO summit? Or when he got laughed at the UN for claiming his administration has done more in 2 years than any other administration.
In less than 2 years, my administration has accomplished more than almost any administration in the history of our country. America's so true. Didn't expect that reaction, but that's okay.
And if you were under any illusions about how the rest of the world views him, you can refer to this hot mic moment where Trudeau, along with other world leaders, mocked Trump at the NATO summit. In fact, not only have favorable views of the United States plummeted in countries around the world since Trump took office, but international approval ratings for Donald Trump himself are even lower, sitting at a 16% average rating. Hemorrhoids and colonoscopies enjoy higher approval ratings than the President of the United States. So Trump will undoubtedly keep up this charade and continue appealing to the lowest common denominator when it comes to his election theft scheme, but the entire world not only realizes what a joke he is, but recognizes full well the damage he's doing to democracy, and they seem anything but amused about that. While you're here, please check out my podcast, No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen. I take a deep dive into the top stories of the week, and I also interview major players in the world of politics, like Kamala Harris, Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi, Pete Buttigieg, Katie Porter, Al Franken, Cory Booker, Jamie Harrison, Mary Trump, and many more. Again, that's No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen, available anywhere you listen to podcasts.